All right, guys, continuing with our pandemic theme of the week, and as promised, today I want to talk about an in-depth list of supplies you should have on hand to survive a viral outbreak or a pandemic. The first thing on the list is a pandemic mask. We talked a little bit about it this week. There are several to choose from. You have the N95 respirator with a valve, the N100 respirator, a simple pandemic mask like you see them walking around in China with pretty much every day. They usually come in packs of 10. And then there's also the antiviral masks that we talked about last Monday. If you go back and watch that video, I think I linked to them. If I didn't, let me know. Masks are your first line of defense during a viral outbreak, especially those that are airborne. So these masks will protect you from viruses like the swine flu, common cold, and the bird flu. Next on our list is goggles. You need to prevent droplets from entering your eye cavity, and to accomplish this, you need a good pair of goggles. These will be worn if you are around anyone that has been exposed to the virus, and in extreme cases, you will just wear them outside anytime you go outside, depending on the severity of the outbreak. You want to also add some duct tape and plastic drop cloths to your pandemic kit. You must be able to quarantine an area as part of your pandemic response plan. Duct tape is a prepper's best friend next to paracord. You can use it to seal windows and doors to help prevent infected airborne particles from entering your home, shelter, wherever you happen to be. I feel like talking about the need to prepare for a pandemic is a really deep topic, and I feel like every time I go and think we're coming to the end of it, I find some more topics that probably need to be discussed. So I considered going extra, going beyond the 5 days. I don't think I'm going to do that. I may just double up on some videos and knock them out. So we may get over the next couple of days, do 2 videos a day. I don't know yet. Just stay tuned for that. I want to talk about setting up a quarantine safe room. I think I can get that done tomorrow. There's quite a bit that needs to go into that. Anyway, next on our list are gloves. We talked about these also this week. Nitrile exam gloves are standard practice in the medical industry. Even for CPR trained people, they are instructed to glove up before performing CPR. Keep your gloves in a Ziploc baggie just to keep them clean. Keep them clean, free of bacteria and any dirt. And the important thing to remember when wearing gloves is that everything you touch with the gloves will then be contaminated. So you need to glove up every time you take out the trash, do laundry, especially if it's someone that is sick. Obviously, if you're caring for a sick individual, glove up before you provide care. The fifth thing on our list is a Tyvek suit. You want to buy one of these for every member of your family and anyone that's going to be part of your survival group. These provide a nice protected barrier against any dry particles that may be hazardous floating around the air or on any surface you may touch or brush up against. Now, when you go buy these, it's best to buy more than what you think you're going to need. You can go through them pretty quick, and you don't want to start suiting up to find there's a rip in it, and that's the only suit you have, because then you're pretty well screwed, or at least maybe the person you're going to care for is screwed. Number 6 on our list is antiseptics. And first, you need to know the difference in an antiseptic and a disinfectant. Antiseptics apply directly to the skin, and disinfectants are for surfaces, so you don't put those on your skin. Antiseptic wipes and hand sanitizers will help you control exposure and help minimize the risks of pandemics on your hands. This doesn't mean skip the gloves. Always, always, always glove up. Antiseptic and the wipes will not help if your skin has already been exposed to the virus. Up next on our list is soaps, sanitizers, and disinfectants. As we just mentioned, disinfectants are applied to the surfaces and not to the skin. It is a chemical liquid that destroys bacteria, viruses, and fungi. A sanitizer performs the same function, but it's safe to use on food. I mean, not on food, but on skin. Look into getting some Streamline quaternary sanitizing tablets. These will be used to clean any surface or equipment that is used for food preparation. Your food processing equipment, sinks, countertops, cabinets, refrigerators, stovetops, cutting boards, and all other non-porous equipment and surfaces. You also want to pick up some Benefect Botanical Disinfect. This is the only botanical disinfectant in North America, and it kills 99.99% of bacteria, fungus, TB, and HIV. You'll use this Benefect as an alternative to chlorine, ammonia, and oxidizers. It isn't corrosive, flammable, and it doesn't pose a risk to public health, which means you don't need any PPE to protect yourself from that product. The last type of cleaner you're going to want to invest in is called Simple Green D Pro 5. This is also a very effective cleaner against bacterial, viral, and fungal threats. It's a one-step sanitizer and fungicide. It's also safe to use around food. It's great to use against things like hepatitis B and C, human coronavirus, canine distemper, and the avian flu. All right, pandemic supply number 8 are thermometers. We talked a little about them yesterday, but they are important and should be in your pandemic supply kit. There are 3 types to consider. You have analog. These can be helpful in the case of an EMP as they do not require any type of battery to use. However, they do require contact with the infected and their skin, so you want to ensure you have adequate supplies of the analog if that's the route you're going. But you also need to be able to clean and sanitize them as well. There's also the disposable thermometers. You can keep plenty of these in your kit and in your bug out bag. The third kind of thermometer is a no-touch thermometer. These are great when needing to get the temperature of an infected person, as they don't touch the skin but read the temperature all the same. Number 9 on our list is probiotic supplements. My wife used to make these. I don't think she makes them anymore. Not the supplements, but the probiotic. And this isn't something that's commonly talked about in the prepper list. A lot of people don't even know what they are. But probiotic supplements will help you stay as healthy as possible. You can make your own probiotics. Like I said, my wife does it. Maybe we'll get that into another day. You can start taking these tablets today to help improve your overall health now and be that much more prepared if a pandemic strikes. The probiotic pill isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, but it helps build intestinal balance. Next up is medicine. There are several types of medicines you're going to need to stock up on to be ready for a pandemic. You'll want medicines that help with pain, fevers, coughs, and diarrhea. We'll list all of them in our supply list PDF that I'm going to be attaching to this post. Don't forget your electrolytes. Ensure your overall supply list includes plenty of emergency drinks. We'll also have these in the PDF as well because there's a lot to go over. Let's see, and maybe we'll give you some recipes and making your own just in case you run out of any kind of emergency drink during this emergency. Number 12 on our list is facial tissues. Just like toilet paper, you can never stock too much facial tissue. In a pandemic situation, you'll want to have a place ready to dispose of used tissues. This will help reduce the chance of cross-contamination. Be sure you glove up before removing the trash bag filled with these used tissues, and you may consider even wearing your Tyvek suit, head and face gear too, and put the used tissues in a biohazard bag. Speaking of biohazard bag, they come in number 13 on our supply list. Some may ask how these differ from just regular trash bags. A biohazard bag provides a high-density isolation liner to provide maximum film strength for tough situations. They also have the star seal bottoms, which allow for equal weight distribution and are leak resistant. Plus, they're bright red to indicate that they may contain infection waste or hazardous materials to warn others to stay clear. Something else we talked about yesterday, but we went ahead and put them here on the list, are cloth diapers and adult diapers. Using these to contain a mess resolves the unsanitary conditions and reduces the spread of a disease. Cloth diapers serve as a first aid item for stopping bleeding. You can use them to clean up vomit or to provide a cool water compress for a fever if needed. Going right along with that theme, stock up on vomit bags. Single-use emesis bags will help with sickness cleanup, and along the lines of cleanup, get some extra laundry detergent. You'll need to sterilize any bedding or just throw it away. Washing laundry on the sanitary setting is imperative if your washer has that. Of course, you always want to do hot water. If you think the linen is too contaminated, then seriously, there's nothing wrong with just burning it. But whenever possible, wash it so that you're not going through it so fast you run out. Number 17 on our list of pandemic supplies is a portable radio. Just like any other massive catastrophe, you'll need a way to get your news so you know what's happening in the world around you. You need to have a good communication plan in place so you'll be able to stay in contact with the people close by. But also, if you have anyone that is a bit further away, you need to think about how you're going to stay in contact with them as well. Maybe that's a topic for another day. We can add it to our topic list to cover in the future. And then the last thing on our pandemic supply kit list is a good water filtration. Water can easily contain contaminants of a pandemic, and while most filtration systems can't filter out what a pandemic would bring, you still want to be able to filter any water before you consume it or use it for cleaning or with an infected person. If your local government stops pumping water to your house, you're going to want a large supply of it, just like we talked about the other day. The more you store, the more you're going to need to filter, unless you're storing already bottled or jugged water. Okay, so we just covered 18 things you need to have on hand in the case of a major viral outbreak or a pandemic. I'm sure there are other supplies or gear you want to add to the list, and if you think you should add them, then by all means add them. You can never have too much gear or too many supplies, because when it hits the fan, if you haven't tried to cut back on using certain things already, then you will likely burn through your supplies or your stockpile faster than you ever thought you would. We've also got a nice little PDF guide to go along with today's training, so be sure to check that out, download it, and it's a nice little checklist. You can check things off as you get your pandemic supply kit put together. Okay, I think tomorrow we're going to talk about setting up a quarantine space, room or camp, whatever. I think that's going to be tomorrow's topic. And like I said, we may be doubling up just to get more pandemic information out there. Anyway, until then, we'll see you tomorrow.